Hey there, thanks for watching. This is Christiana on The Well-Behaved Wallet, and I am here today to do a birthday time capsule review. So October is my birthday month, and I love the season of fall and the change, the beauty and the colors of the leaves here in the Northeast. And what I started to do kind of over the past few years here on my channel is done a year in review every October. For me, it's a chance to kind of take stock of what's working in my life, what's not working, where I am compared to where I have been, and where I am and compared to where I want to be sort of long term. So what I usually do is I start with my numbers, right? Like the facts of the year, for better or for worse, and try to analyze why I am where I am. If I'm doing well, why? If I'm not doing well, also why? And this can be a little bit painful because it's not always easy to be clear on what's actually going on and why. It requires a lot of sometimes painful self-assessment, because getting to know yourself, it can be really painful, because some things that you think you're doing well, maybe you're not doing so well when it comes to an actual reflection in the real world, because your mind and the real world can sometimes be very different places, at least for me. So this is my birthday year in review. I also kind of tend to like to do a review of everything that's happened from last October to this October, pick out the best and the worst, and figure out what we want more, what I want more of, and what I want maybe less of. So here is my birthday year in review, starting with the numbers. So this time last year, so 2018, my loan, so I'll start with the good. My student loan was at $16,847, and today it's at $13,501. So that's a $3,000 decrease, which is that gazelle intent? No. Is that better than I did? Am I doing better this year than I did last year? Yeah. So I will take that for sure. In terms, these two numbers are a little bit tricky. In terms of checking versus savings, my savings rate, my long-term, well, let me call it my emergency funds, about $500 less than it was last year, which is kind of painful. And I'm like, why did that happen? I didn't really have any big, I would say accidents. I didn't have any big need for it. It's just less. And that's kind of like, I 100% attribute that to like drift, like lifestyle drift, which is painful and is for sure something I am going to look at. And that's the purpose of this, is to say, hey, what can I do better to be where I want to be? Because my goal for next year is to have that savings rate, rather than less, probably be double. That would be good, to have double the amount of money available to me. And then my checking account is about the same, give or take. Timing for last year, I had some expenses that came in right after I did this review last year. So we're just going to call checking a wash for now. So those are my money numbers, just straight up. So I would say for the best of the year. So if I look at the year as a whole, the things that really meant the most to me were, for sure, had to do with travel. And that's the lesson, I would say, of this past year, is that, and it's so true, and I've heard it said by so many people, that it's really experiences over things, right? Where you value what you've experienced over what you get. Because if you think back, like, can you remember your favorite birthday present? Can you remember, your favorite Christmas present? Maybe not. But can you remember the experiences you took, like trips you took, even as a kid? Like, you remember those family vacations. You remember your last vacation. Maybe if it's been a while, you don't. But this has for sure been the best thing over the past years, the travel that I did. So these are the trips that really meant the most to me. Last year, every year with my mom, we did a trip to the Cape, to Cape Cod. I have a really good friend from college who owns a surf shop out there with her husband, and they do Oyster Fest every year in Wellfleet around this time of year, and it's just gorgeous and it's so much fun, because it's a little bit less touristy and a little bit more local. So it's really a local festival to celebrate the locals. So, and I love oysters. So we go out there and we ate oysters, and we went out to dinner. It was restaurant week as well, so we really had a fun time, and we had done this every year for the past maybe 5 years in a row, so it was a lot of fun. And it's kind of bittersweet because my mom's in Israel now, so I'm not going to be doing that with her. I have another trip planned, but that was probably one of the best trips of the previous year, of 2018. So that was a lot of fun. And this year, I would say there were 3 trips. Well, 2 that I've taken and 1 that I've planned. And the first was our family vacation in June, right before my mom left. My sister came up from Nashville with her fiance, and we met her in Virginia Beach. We rented a house, and we just laid on the beach. And it was 4 days of glorious relaxation. It was so much fun. We didn't really have an agenda or a schedule. We just hung out on the beach in the morning, and then we grabbed dinner in the evening, and we just spent time together, and it was a lot of fun. Really one of the best trips in recent memory. Nobody fought. There were no disagreements. I feel like I got to know my sister's fiance better, which was great. And it was really a great family time. And it's interesting because we didn't really buy any souvenirs. 3 things. So my mom needed a hat, so she got a hat. It was really cute. And she was like, because it's like you go down like to these tourist shops, and like they're far apart, so you like have to make a decision quick and decide like, do you want this one? Value for money kind of thing. So she bought one, but I saw her like checking out prices of other hats after she bought one, and I was like, no, you got the best deal. She definitely did. So it's a gorgeous like straw hat. And for me, what I got, and this is unusual, and I think I want to start doing it more, I got spices, because one evening for dinner, I just wanted a salad with scallops, and nowhere, like I couldn't find that on any menu. So I eventually was like, look, I'm just going to buy scallops. So I bought a couple pounds of scallops from a local seafood outfit. Like it wasn't even a restaurant. There was like a tiny restaurant in the back, but I just bought the scallops raw from someone that had like gone out that day and gotten them. They were huge and they were delicious. But I also got the restaurant the store that we went to had spices. So local spices made in Virginia Beach. One was a Scandinavian salmon rub, and the other was a blackened Cajun rub that the shop attendant recommended for scallops. So I bought both of them. They were kind of pricey. They were like $7 each, but every time I use them now, I remember the trip and what a good time we had, and I really enjoy that. So talk about like consumables. That's something that's going to be in my kitchen, that I see in my kitchen, that makes me happy to remember and to use. So I think I might look for that going forward. So that was in June, and that trip was fabulous and worth every single penny, and I loved it. It was a great time. So that was a really good memory. The next good memory was FinCon in September, and that was so much fun to get to meet some amazing YouTubers and meet new friends and hang out there. It was 100% a great expense, or I would say a worthwhile expense, future business write-off, a time of learning, a time of excitement. I got a ton of great swag, totally going back next year, already bought my ticket. So that was a lot of fun as well. Definitely one of the best memories. And the next memory I have coming up will be for this upcoming month. I'm planning on a trip to Montreal, and I'm really excited for that because I've never been, and I wanted to leave the country this year, and it's only 6 hours away. So I'm really excited for that because, hey, it's right there. I had no idea it was so close. And it's been a while. I haven't left the country since 2017, and I'm like, yeah, it's time. So I'm excited for that trip upcoming. That's going to be my birthday trip this year, as I'm going. I try to do that every year for my birthday, so I'm really excited for that. That has 100% been the best of the year. So in terms of some of the other questions I've asked myself in these video time capsules, and I'll try to link them down below so you can see what I've done year to year. Questions like, what made you laugh last? And I was trying to think like what made me laugh. So, and this is silly, like I had a friend and her husband, and I spent time with them, and they went mini golfing with another friend that I know, like mutual friends of ours. And my friend's like, yeah, like my one friend who's a girl was like, yeah, I'm really good at mini golf. And I'm like, oh yeah, because she is very good at games, and she just is. So I saw the mutual friend that they hung out with the next day, and we were just kind of chatting, and I just mentioned that I saw them, and this guy was like, yeah, and the first thing he said was, we went mini golfing and she totally whooped our butts. And I was like, oh, that just made me chuckle. I'm like, yeah, your reputation precedes you. And she's really good at games. I don't know if that's like funny, but that's what I laughed at last. Songs that I'm listening to, I really love Lindsay Sterling lately. She just released a new album, Artemis. It's a lot of fun to listen to. What else? I've started doing like a yearly playlist where I choose a song of the month, 12 songs for the year, and that's actually a lot of fun. I'm on Spotify, and I will listen back to previous years and be like, oh yeah, that reminds me of that year, good and the bad. So this year has definitely been filled with ups and downs for sure, and I feel like overall what I'm most proud of myself for is learning how to take care of myself. I've tried to be an expert in my own self-care and to know what I need best. Some of my favorite tools for taking care of myself are things that I've mentioned before. I do hot yoga. I stay active. I walk every day. I try to feed myself as best as I can. With fresh veggies, protein, fruits, things like that. And also like I used to, and I've kind of shifted away from this year as well. Like, I'm someone that stress eats a lot, and now instead of stress eating, I try to deal with my issues by taking a bath, and that, especially in the colder months, it's a lot of fun. So now my biggest thing when I get home after a long day, I look forward to my bath, and I have my Epsom salts, like my Dr. Teal's orange flavored Epsom salts, and that's my favorite that's like a monthly favorite, or probably a couple month favorite that I've been enjoying lately. So I'm really proud of myself for learning how to take care of myself in this last year of my life, or this past year of my life. So as I'm coming up on a new year, I'm really excited to learn more, to grow more, to set new goals for myself, and to continue to move in that direction of continual growth, even though it might be challenging to face those things about myself that aren't always easy to face. So that has been my year in review, and I thank you so much for watching, as always. And if you have a birthday tradition, let me know what it is, because I'm always on the lookout for new traditions and things to incorporate. I know birthdays can kind of be melancholy, bittersweet. Some people hate them, some people love them, but I feel like traditions kind of help because they give us a framework for dealing with our experience. So let me know if you have any special birthday traditions in your family or for yourself. And as always, I hope you keep watching. Thanks. Bye.